And what I'm going to go through next are each of these applications over here. So our first application is going to be I almost said Walmart Park, but it's Welcome Park. So the Welcome Park is basically a tutorial show you how to use the PS Vita. Now, instead of having your run-of-the-mill instruction manual, you do, but instead of that, we have a more interactive approach, which is a set of mini-games, as you will see in a moment, that will kind of force you to practice and apply what the tutorial has taught you. Now, I've played these mini-games before, so they're not going to show the instructions again, but they will when you first open them. So, I'm going to go ahead and play one of these mini-games. I'm going to choose the one that I like best. Just waiting for it to come around. Alright, I think I like this one better. Okay, so this one is a showcase of the PS Vita's touchscreen. I like it because it's easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this.
Ready, go.
And you just tap the numbers in order, and it gets a little more difficult as you go on. And double tap if you have two circles at once. And notice some of them you have to tap at the same time because they show up twice on the screen. Tricky, tricky. Oops. I'm so slow. I had a better time. 25. Anyways, so that's pretty much how it works, and I'll continue through this demo and also show you another demo after this. So this is our click and drag exercise, or flick and drag, whatever. Yes, I realize I'm slow at this, but I don't play this too often, so. And yeah, nice pretty graphics and colors. Okay, so continue.
Ready, go.
And so this exercise is using the rear touchpad, and notice I'm not touching anything on the front screen. It's solely done in the back. So it's like an extra touch sensor. Alright, and then at the end of this, they kind of like compile all of your results and see how fast you can be at the touchscreen. Something cute like that. Alright, so we're not going to play again. I'm going to show you one more application or tutorial.
How was it? If you would like to quit Welcome Park, press the PS button.
Yeah, PS button's right here. Thanks for talking to me. I feel not lonely anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try this one because I found it to be kind of weird, so I think you guys should partake in my weirdness too. Okay, so what you do is you touch the center to record. Hello, this is Tech Savvy Solution here, and I'm doing a sound test with the PS Vita and showing all of my viewers how cool the PS Vita is, and I'm talking for too long, so I'm gonna stop talking. So, it's chaos right now. I'm gonna do another sample, so it could be even more chaotic. I'm talking really slowly and being weird. And you can see that all these sound loops are just playing the background all at once. Okay, and then I'm gonna meow and freak you guys out a little more. You're gonna think I'm really weird. Okay. Meow. Sounds like you're high on something, so I'm gonna exit. No, I do not want to play again. So yeah, that was a look at the microphone feature / tutorial of the PS Vita. And all this guy isn't gonna talk to me again. Okay, so I'm going to exit this, and I'm gonna press this button over there, like she had said. Alright, so let's look at Welcome Park. The next application that we're going to be reviewing, that I'm going to be reviewing, is Party. Oh my goodness. So, as you can tell, it's very much integrated with the PlayStation Network. And it's like the PlayStation Network logs every single thing that you do, so you have to be constantly connected online and such. So, what you can do at the party is kind of like what you do at LAN parties, almost, if you've heard of what they are. But you can chat with your friends, you can game with them and stuff. I don't know, it's party. Yeah. So what you can do is add or create a party and choose who you want to be in this party. So this is my ID. I don't game, so if you try and add me, I'll be like, yeah, I won't even see it because I won't turn this on for another, I don't know, month or so. So I'm going to create this party. And what you can do in this party is basically chat. Alright, so you can say, hi. Alright, and you can see that shows up there. And then you can also add friends and invite them to your party. Alright, so some brief settings. We can either leave a party or prioritize chat audio, basically just volume. So yeah, this is a party, and you can also choose as your favorite party. And what we have here are tabs that organize your party related activities. You have invitations to parties as well as favorites. And as you can see, I created 3 of my own parties and favorited 2 of them. And yeah. Alright. That is the party. Fun. Alright. Next application. I know that's really brief, but I don't see too much of that. So our next application is going to be the PlayStation Store. And this is going to be a relatively significant portion of the software review. So hang tight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the PlayStation Network market, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to do some connecting with the network. Okay, so up top we have some featured releases and applications and games. And then over here we have tabs that you can sort through all of these awesome applications. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through what we have to offer for all applications. Now what I like up here is how they have coverage on the E3 conference. So if you go to like day 1, and we have little trailers that were featured in the conference. So I think that's pretty cool. How awesome. Alright, so we also have PS Vita games. So of course Vita only. And as you can see, we have a awesome, not awesome, but average, okay selection. I'd like to see more titles in the future, obviously, but here's what we have to deal with. Personally recommend this game. It's really fun. Lumines. Now, my only gripe, and it's just my own opinion, about this interface is that it doesn't show any screenshots or reviews or even videos or demos of this game. They just show ratings. So, I mean, many people may argue, well, you know, you can just go to GameFAQs.com or just Google it and see how awesome or not awesome that the game is, and you don't need that on this interface. Well, I think that if you have anything that is a store, then you ought to showcase what the application has to offer. I mean, showcases in the media associated with the application as well as personal reviews. That's just my opinion. I mean, Android market has it, the iOS market has it, but I think maybe what Sony's trying to do is to kind of condense this application so it's not so heavy with like content, so it load quicker and not be so bogged down. I mean, right now you can see there's a bit of lag with things, so I also want to note that the size of these applications and games are quite large if you get to the graphic intensive games. I mean, 1.6 gigabytes is kind of a lot to download, so it will definitely take some time, and you want to plug in your Vita so you don't run out of battery. Now, in terms of crossplay games, you have games that can be played on both the Vita and your PS3. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Alright, so we also have PSP games that were ported to work on the PS Vita, and they're also organized by title. We have a pretty big selection of that. I don't like how we have to buy the games again, even if we bought it before when we had owned a PSP, but that's how it works. Hopefully, if I'm not aware of it, hopefully Sony would come up with a system to port everything over if you had bought it before. Alright, so we have something new called Minis, and maybe it's not new, but anyways, it's a new category in that we have games that aren't full-fledged. It's not going to be your in-depth RPG. It's going to be, some quick games that you may find more often on the Android market or iOS for just like, Angry Birds, or in this case, Doodle Pool or Dr. Minigames. Minigames is more of an accurate term, but Sony likes to call them minis for short. Next, we have demos, and these demos are like, a little taste of what this game has to offer. If you want more, buy the full version. And as you can see, you can tell which demos are cool or not by the rating over here. So for example, Wipeout. You can download a free demo, which is kind of large, 430 megabytes. Just keep that in mind when you're pressed for time or memory. Alright, so these are applications, and there aren't too many right now, but we have your basic things like Facebook, Flickr, and then also Skype on the bottom, which is pretty cool. And I'll be demoing Facebook in just a moment, or further along in the software review. Okay, we also have media, which are trailers, or just like little snippets of gameplay video. And then finally, we can search for our favorite applications and games by genre. Or, if you know the exact name of the game, you can search up top and type in the name of the game and get that on the PlayStation Network store. Okay, so in addition to buying games, you can also watch and purchase videos. So the format's similar. You have your feature videos up top, and then you have tabs organizing what videos you want to buy. So you have movies, or movies to rent, or even the latest episodes of your favorite television show. So if we go to TV shows over here, we have, let's see, genres, we can browse that. Say we want comedy. Let's go here. And you have a lot of shows I haven't even heard of, but let's try Saturday Night Live. And hey, you have all the seasons of SNL. And let's see how much an average episode would cost. About $2. Not too bad. And it shows you how long each episode is. So in this case, it's going to be 55 minutes. And it'll take up about 700 megs. $6.97 to be exact. Alright, so the next application that we're going to be looking at is called Near. And so it's basically an application where you can stalk your friends, and where your friends can stalk you, and yeah, it's a really location-based application, as you will see, and as the graphics suggest. So it will log all of your activity and your it's location-based, so like your activity that you do, for example, and out and about, where you've been. So in this case, unpopulated location discovered. And if you click on that, it'll show you where you were. And I'm not going to show you that because I don't really want you to stalk me. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and go back to that home screen there. And the next one is friends. So you can add people that you want to stalk. And in this case, I have no one that I particularly want to stalk. As in, I have no friends. So it's going to show just my activity and what I've been doing. So yeah, basically a stalking application for competitive purposes. Alright, our third feature is discoveries. And it's basically your accomplishments. Yeah. Obviously it says, or obviously I cannot discover game goods because I'm not sharing my online ID. Because again, I'm not a particular fan of people stalking. So anyways, that's a brief look at that. And then we also have settings associated with this application. Now you may be wondering what this button is up top, but it's kind of like a refresh button. So if you're like OCD, you need to know like the latest updates on what you and your friends have been doing, you can go ahead and click on that, and the PlayStation Network will take care of the rest. Obviously, I have not traveled that much today, so, but apparently it says that there's a big change in location. Let's see. Popularity surge? Really? Interesting. I don't care. Alright, so I'll give you notifications about that. I'm not a big fan, but it's, you know, it's a perk, I guess, of this PS Vita. Okay, next we have friends. And I like how the music just stops. It goes eerily silent. So again, as you notice, all of these friend/networking applications require a lot on the PlayStation Network, and it synchronizes constantly. So we have my user ID. I don't go online and game or anything because I don't really have time. So add me if you want or not. You have options over here to send a friend request, and if you do, you have to know your friend's online ID. Or you can set up a block list. I have not blocked any players because I do not have any friends. Alright, so if you have people that you think are stalking you too much, you can block them. Yay! And not be friends with them. Alright, so next we have more networking applications. This one in particular is Group, which is like kind of like group chat on AIM or Facebook, but for PS Vita. So I'm really digging this purple background. It shows up blue on the camera, but it's actually like a deep purple, like Northwestern University's purple. It's really nice. I'm a fan of purple. So we have options to create a message, and again, you need to know your friend's online ID in order to send them anything, kind of like email. And then you also have, some brief settings. So these are refresh settings. So it'll set whether or not you want your system to update or to fetch different messages. You can have that every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or every hour. I obviously have it turned to off so I can save on battery. And then you also have a refresh button. So yeah. And I want you to notice that each of these little paper screens, I call them paper because they flex like that, like paper, but each of these screens has a customized layout. So obviously we have our little help button here, which will direct you to the browser. But we also have a shortcut to create a new message. And I'll be pointing these little features out as we go on. Okay, so our next application is trophies, and this is kind of like your brag board of everything that you've accomplished in the virtual world. So again, everything communicates with the server. It's very, very server-based, and it communicates a lot with the PlayStation Network. Okay, so we have your trophies, and obviously I haven't played a lot, so I only have Welcome Park trophies, but you have trophies specific to your PS Vita system, or trophies that are associated with the PlayStation Network. And this is where you can compare trophies with your friends. Or just like, yeah. I lost my train of thought. But we have options on the lower right hand corner to either sort your trophies if you have a ton of them, or refresh if you're OCD again and you want to be like, I swear I got that trophy. Refresh. So yeah. That's basically the trophy interface application. And I'm going to show you the photos application. So as you can see here, these are two of the shortcuts that I was mentioning before, custom to the screen. So if we go here, we have a shortcut to the photos that we have taken. So it's organized by all photos, by month, time, as well as just camera images that we have taken. So I took a picture of my water bottle and my cute cat. And then we also have a shortcut to the actual photo, or actual camera, I mean. So as you can see, nothing is being shown because I have this cover on my PS Vita, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off really quickly, and I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, I accidentally took a picture while I was doing that. Anyways. Alright, so here's a better view of the camera, better flexibility in moving around and such. So, my camera that I'm using to record this video, Galaxy Nexus, if you're interested in knowing, is trying to focus on the PS Vita screen, which is doing a real-time showing of its camera, which is trying to focus on my water bottle. Oh wait, scratch that. This does not have autofocus. But anyways, I want to see if my Galaxy Nexus will kind of focus and get a clearer image of this so you can get a better representation. There we go. That's a little better. So, I'm not going to take a picture of my water bottle again, but here is kind of a glass cube of a music note that I had made several years ago. So, let's go ahead and take a picture of that. So the interface has the shutter button being here, and it takes a bit to save, but you can also switch cameras using this button. And I'm not going to switch it because all you're going to see is me and my Galaxy Nexus, which is kind of boring. Not the Galaxy Nexus, but me. I'm boring. So, or sorry, this button will allow you to switch cameras. Here, you can switch to video recording. My bad. So, with this video recording, you're gonna get pretty, I dare say crappy quality, but you're not gonna need fine quality recording for a gaming device such as this. But, I'm just gonna record just a bit and, show you around. Right, there's my water bottle again. Behind my water bottle is my high school transcript, if you're interested. And Chicago Flute Club Pipeline magazine, as well as my cat again. So, and my other water bottle. Okay, I know, I'm sorry, that was boring, but this is just a quick test. So, I'm going to stop recording right here. It's saving. Okay, and if you want to view your photos / videos, and you can go ahead and tap on this. So this will show you your last taken, or your last video or photo taken. So let's go ahead and watch this really quickly. For a gaming device such as this. But I'm just gonna record just a bit and show you around. Right, there's my water bottle again. Behind my water bottle is my high school transcript. So the voice, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of muffled, and the colors are very bland, very gray. As well as my cat again. Okay, so we're gonna stop because I don't like listening to myself talk. Okay, if you go here, then you have a shortcut back to your photos, and my goodness, my camera should focus a little better. Okay, I'm not going to wait around here forever, but, so yeah, that gives you a pretty good idea of what this is. So I'm going to hit the escape button again, and peel out of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my case back on, and show you the web browser. So I forgot what this case is called. I think it's like a hoary faceplate case or something. I bought it off of Amazon if you're interested. Or, since I will have to be selling this soon, because I can't afford to keep it, obviously, the case will come with it. So, yeah. If you want to know more about the case, just message me or something. Okay, so next is our browser. And as you can see, this is a very customized page. We have shortcuts to the most recently opened tabs or web pages. And then we also have PlayStation.com, bookmark obviously. And then we have just start the browser. Okay, so what this will do is load the page that you were on last, regardless of if this application was running in the background or not. So I'm on Wi-Fi right now, so the speeds are relatively fast. However, you can notice that with the rendering of this page and just scrolling and the fluidity, it has a bit of checkerboard, which I'm like, come on, it's a quad-core processor on this thing. You could do better. But in terms of like zooming in and out, it's smooth. Like, don't confuse checkerboarding with fluidity. It's smooth, but it has some checkerboard. But it's smooth, as I want to emphasize, which I like. Alright, so I'm going to do a test address, and we're going to do www.engadget.com. I'm a fan. I'm going to be opening a web page of my own, or I have opened, but I haven't really shared it yet. But once I do, then I'll be doing speed browser tests and stuff on that web page instead of Engadget all the time. So, in case you were wondering. So as you can see, the loading bar is up top and hasn't finished loading, but I'm scrolling through it and it's just like, oh my god, holy crap. Like, why is it so much checkerboard? I'm a little disappointed. But the checkerboard does go away relatively quickly on average. And then if you double tap, should be able to zoom. Maybe not. I don't know what's up with this. But yeah, that's really unfortunate. Anyways, if we zoom in, we can get a pretty good look at the graphics and the text. It's really clear, I'd like to point out, because of that OLED screen and screen resolution. I mean, it'd be perfect if we had better loading and rendering of this, because it's just, everything else is very fluid except it's a web browser, which is not a fan. Alright, so that's a brief look at what the web browser can load. See if we can load a mobile site. Go up top here and click mobile. And see if that loads any better. Oh wait, I'm stupid. It's basically loading. It's not loading mobile for this because it's not like that. Yeah, it's not loading mobile for PS Vita. Okay, we'll scratch that. I'm going to not bore you with any more web pages and checkerboards, but I'm going to show you around as to what the interface has to offer for the actual browser. So I just click that icon, which will show you a list of windows that you have open. So you can go ahead and X out of any windows that you don't want, or you could tap into one of these windows. And I was really monitoring the hacking / homebrew scene on PS Vita and seeing what's up. So I have that on these tabs. What you can do is also search. So let's search for tech savvy solution. Oops, I can't type. And I mean, the keyboard, I'm doing a terrible job right now, but the keyboard is great. It's nice and spacious, and yeah, it's just good keyboard. So Google on the PS Vita has its own little customized interface, which is pretty cool. And let's go ahead and load up my YouTube page. Now I want you to notice that right now, PS Vita is not going to be able to load any Flash content, which includes the videos on my YouTube page. So everything else works, but that, as you can see, says, get the latest Flash player. Learn more about upgrading to an HTML5 browser, which I guess this isn't. And of course you have my video description here. And yeah, everything else works but the video. Alright, so in addition to that, you can also favorite or bookmark, or access your bookmarks. And then on these options here, we can create folders to organize these bookmarks, or we can edit them, sort them, or even delete bookmarks. Okay, and then over here, we have add a bookmark. So please add me as a bookmark to your browser. And you can even specify the location. So I haven't created any new folders, but by default it'll go to bookmarks. So okay. Or you can go to browser settings, you can delete stuff, you know, do security settings. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So, and then lastly, back and forward buttons. Alright, so that is a brief look at the web browser. Peel that out of the way. Alright, so we've come to our second page of applications, and I'm not going to go through Remote Play, nor Music Unlimited, but I will walk through the music application. Told you that this would be a hefty review. So I want to note that before you can actually play stuff on music or under video player or anything, you have to load what's called Content Manager. Actually, I should do that first. We go to a Content Manager here. And what it requires you to do is either connect to a PS3 system or connect to your PC. So first, I would connect your PS Vita to your PC first. Well, that was redundant, but do that, and once it's connected, then on your PS Vita, it'll give you the option to install the Content Manager Assistant on the PC. And all you have to do is click a button, and it'll automatically give the files to your PC, and it'll install it. So no searching for software or anything wacky like that. It'll install it, and you can go ahead and move content from PC to Vita or Vita to PC. So that's going to take a lot of time that I don't have to go over that in this review, but that's a basic look at what the Content Manager has for us. So once you have that set up and you've transferred some music, we can go ahead and go to the music application. And it sorts it by the categories that you see here. And I'm going to go to all songs. And let's just go ahead and play like a sample song. I didn't load my entire library because it'd take too much space, but let's do some Stravinsky. This is the third movement. Not to be a music geek, but it's one of my favorites. Alright, so here you have options for equalizer. So if you want it to be like a jazz sort of like setting, then you can select that. I personally like to keep it off to keep the sound honest. But we also have some shuffle and repeat options. And obviously these skip songs. And you have your album art placed over here. Oh, that was not supposed to be there. And the kooks. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's a now playing icon. How sweet. So over here we have some options to copy or delete songs. Oops. And yeah, that is a look at the music application. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit that, and notice how we have shortcuts to play songs. You can play it in the background while you're browsing, or even during gameplay. So next we have videos, And videos don't include just the stuff that you've gotten from your computer, but also things from the PlayStation Store, and you see various advertisements of such. So if we start this application, then we have a list of either all or rented videos from PlayStation Network. So here's a video. I'm not going to take the time to show it, but there it is. And then, of course, with options, we have copy and delete once again. Up here, we also have the option to sort it by either name or date. And then, of course, over here, we have information saying how long it was, when it was taken, and even the screen resolution. And I have no rented videos. Okay. So that is the video application. And you can even refresh so you can get new suggestions as to what you'd like to download for your videos. And we always have our help icon over there, which is nice to have, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to skip remote play. We've visited Content Manager. So the next application on our list tour is Maps. So it shows up recently searched locations over here. We have our help button again, and then we have our start button, not in the center, but off-centered over there, which is kind of clever because it's like you're looking for the start button on the map. Okay, so here we have a map that's loaded based on your recent search, but you can go ahead and search for an address here, or a city here. So let's just say we want, I don't know, Philadelphia. And search. It'll go ahead and take us to Philadelphia. Not take us, but, you know, show a map of Philadelphia. And you can zoom in, and it takes a bit of loading time. But not too long, as long as you're connected to a Wi-Fi network. It's pretty decent. And then here you have the option of either pressing, oops, wait for it to load. Come on, maps. Either pressing this button to get your current location, and from there you can say like, I want to be here, and then map directions based on where you are currently. And then you have options to either search for location, search for directions, place a flag, or do like bookmarks, and bookmarks can be organized based on like flag locations. And you also have settings, so our map type is either you have your standard map or you have a satellite image of that, so you get like real life looking houses and streets and stuff like you'd see in your own backyard, or map plus satellite, which is a blend of the two. We also have traffic information that if you're navigating around and you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't go here because it's all congested. And then we also have units of distance for worldwide accommodation, because US is weird and that does not use the metric system like everyone else. Okay, so on the list we have things that we have just searched. And if you tap once, then you can bring up these options, or if you want full screen, then you just tap again and you get full screen. And if you notice, we have upgraded maps to include that sort of 3D imaging that you get in the online maps application and application for Android. So you get physical representations or 3D representations of how tall each of these buildings are to give you a better idea of your surroundings rather than just 2D images of stuff. So I'm sorry that this map is very boring. Maybe I'll zoom out to make it more interesting. But as this loads, there we go. That's just a pretty good look at what the Maps application is showcasing right now for the Vita. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at the settings really quickly and show you what you have to customize with for the PS Vita. So first you have flight mode, which will turn off all forms of communication, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and if you have the 3G model, 3G. And then you also have system updates, which occur relatively frequently on Sony's clock. So you can update with these 3 different ways. You also have access to network settings like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, as well as internet connection tests and your status of connectivity. Over here you have settings specific to the PlayStation Network, and it'll go ahead and load up in just a bit. Alright, so it'll show you the account that your online ID is linked to, and you can either sign out or you have account information, privacy, and stuff like that, as well as the applications that are linked with your account, like Facebook. Next, you have application and data management. So we have save data, which I don't have, but you have add-on data for PS Vita and for PSP. And then in terms of sound and display, brightness, which you could toggle like so. I like to keep it low so I can conserve my battery. And then notification settings and such. And AVLS, which is limiting the maximum volume for headphones to preserve your hearing. We also have location data, and you can choose which applications have this access to your location. And then the more security settings like parent controls or your screen lock. And then date and time settings, as well as language. You have a choice of all of these languages, which is quite nice. And then system, again, system information, all of that junk. And then format, which you don't want to toy with too much because that's like clearing your data whenever you format your memory card and such. It's useful for if you want to hand this system off to someone else, you don't want your personal data anymore. But anyways, we also have power saving settings. So you have auto standby after X amount of minutes. I should actually have it on 10 minutes so it doesn't just shut off on me. And yeah, that's the look at settings. And peel that off. Getting quite used to that. So next we're going to have Facebook. So again, these shortcuts per page. We have shortcuts to photos as well as messages, but I'm going to click start. So my Facebook page is relatively new. I haven't really advertised it so much, but I've created a Facebook for Tech Savvy Solution, and it's going to be called Tech Savvy Solution Facebook domain. I also have a Facebook page called Tech Savvy Solution, which you could like if you'd like. Oh, no pun intended. But yeah, mine is relatively new, and I've closed it off and hiked up the privacy settings and such. So I have no friends, on this page at least, and I have no posts or anything. I do have a separate personal Facebook page, but again, it's personal, so I don't put it on my videos or anything. So over here, we have access to your shortcuts. Notice that if I press the Facebook button, it kind of hides all these shortcuts so you can have a fuller view of the actual page newsfeed. So if we go to photos, it'll take us to what we have loaded, and I have just my profile picture here. And we also have messages. I have no messages, obviously, and friends, and I have no friends. I think it's funny whenever I say that. We have notifications up top here, as well as settings, and we have like count settings, and if we tap OK, it'll take us to the web browser where we can edit all of those, but I'm not really interested in doing that right now, so I'm going to exit out of that and get back into the Facebook page. Notice how quick it is switching between applications because it's running in the background, so it's relatively easy to do. And then on the bottom here, we have our traditional extra menu button, kind of similar to the menu button that you find on Android devices. I always like to draw parallels to that. But we have refresh. Obviously, I have nothing on there, so it's not going to refresh anything, really. And yeah, so with the newsfeed, you can organize it in terms of most recent statuses or status updates, photos, and links like you do on the regular Facebook page. I'm a pretty big fan of the Facebook application for PS Vita. I think it's doing a little better than the one that's currently on Android. It's faster, I think, than the Android one, but Anyways, enough of Android. This is the PSP. Alright, so that concludes this page of applications. I'm going to go ahead onto game demos. And this is going to be also a chunky part of the review as well. So bear with me for 2 seconds as we switch gears.